You're lying in bed at night. The room is quiet. Your phone is face down. And yet, your mind won't shut up. You replay everything you did today. What you said, what you didn't say, what you should have done better. And no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. You improve, you grind, you push, but satisfaction never comes. Let me explain why. You've been told this is a good thing. Never be satisfied, always want more, keep improving. So you listened. You worked harder, you became more disciplined, more self-aware, more critical, but somewhere along the way, that motivation turned into quiet self-contempt. You stopped celebrating wins. You started minimizing progress. You learned how to move the goalpost every time you got close. And now you're confused. Because on paper, you're better than before, but internally, you feel worse. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Your dissatisfaction isn't coming from failure. It's coming from how your mind has been trained to see yourself. And this isn't random, it's psychology. At the core of this lies something called conditional self-worth. From a young age, you were taught, directly or indirectly, that your value depends on performance. When you achieve, you're praised. When you fail, you're corrected. When you slow down, you're compared. So your nervous system learned a dangerous rule. I am only enough when I'm improving. That means the moment you stop pushing, your mind interprets it as weakness. Rest feels like guilt. Contentment feels like laziness. Peace feels undeserved. Let me explain why this is so destructive. The brain doesn't know the difference between healthy ambition and self-rejection. If your inner dialogue is harsh enough, your mind assumes there's a threat. And when there's a threat, the brain activates survival mode. Survival mode doesn't allow satisfaction. It only allows vigilance. So even when you succeed, your brain immediately asks, what's next? What's missing? What if this isn't enough? That's not drive. That's anxiety wearing ambition's clothes. Here's something most people never realize. You don't just live your life, you watch yourself living it. And that observer inside you, it's rarely neutral. It judges, it compares, it keeps score. You're not dissatisfied because you're failing. You're dissatisfied because your internal observer has become impossible to please. No finish line is final. No progress is acknowledged. No version of you is allowed to rest. That's not self-improvement. That's internalized pressure. And pressure, when constant, becomes identity. Think about a man who goes to the gym for years. At first, progress excites him. Small gains feel powerful. But over time, his standards shift. What once impressed him now disgusts him. What once felt strong now feels average. He looks in the mirror and sees flaws no one else notices. This isn't because he got worse, it's because his self-perception moved faster than his self-acceptance. The same happens with intelligence, with discipline, with relationships, with success. You outgrow your old self, but you never learn how to respect the new one. So you stay stuck in dissatisfaction, even while leveling up. Here's the truth. You were never taught how to be on your own side. You were taught how to evaluate yourself, measure yourself, correct yourself, but not how to support yourself. So now, no matter how much you improve, you still feel behind because the voice in your head isn't a coach, it's a prosecutor. And prosecutors don't want growth, they want conviction. That's not love, that's control. Control over yourself through shame. And shame is a bottomless pit. It never says enough. So what changes this? Not lowering standards, not quitting ambition, but separating identity from performance. You don't stop improving. You stop using improvement as proof of worth. You learn to say, I am disciplined and still human. I want more and I am enough now. I can grow without hating who I am. This is masculine mental resilience, not endless self-criticism, but controlled pressure with self-respect. The strongest men aren't the hardest on themselves. They're the most grounded. They know when to push and when to stand still without self-loathing. So if you're sitting there wondering why satisfaction never comes, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you lack ambition. It's because your mind was trained to chase worth instead of recognize it. And until you change that relationship with yourself, no achievement will ever feel complete. Here's the truth. You don't need to become more. You need to stop treating yourself like you're already behind. Because real power isn't relentless dissatisfaction. Real power is knowing who you are and building from there.